Welcome wizards, witches, and sorcerers to Spell Brigade, a wizard survival game in which you'll fend off hordes of dark creatures with your skills and spells. Spell Brigade was created by Bolt Blaster Games and was released in early access on September 16, 2024. Team up with some friends, play solo, or even try the demo. Early access warning. Information in this video may not apply to future versions of the game. This video pertains to version 0.7.2.2412. If there's a pop-up in the corner, I recommend watching that.
You were the chosen one!
Spell Brigade is all about surviving till the end. You'll take on waves of monsters, learn new spells, and then master those spells with boosts and even elements. To challenge your skills, events will happen where you'll have to seal a gateway, kill a golden beetle, or defeat the big boss to truly survive. Then, you'll be given the chance to raise the difficulty, hone your skills, and jump back in. This is the main gameplay loop, but it's a lot more than this, so let's get into the wizards you'll play. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. In Spell Brigade, you are given one character to start out with, Reginald. Throughout the game, you'll slowly unlock more wizards and progress to completion. Each wizard gets their own spell to start out with, along with 2 boosts and 1 debuff. Here are each of the wizards with their unique starting spell. Reginald with his signature Astral Orbs, the Moon Mage with his signature Moon Ring, Haven with the Rocky Road spell, the Sun Mage who specializes in the Solar Pulse spell, Ludwig with his Mighty Arcane Broadsword spell, Campanelli who is skilled with their Phantom Blades, Hadi who bursts runes out as his signature spell, the Wizard King who has the Almighty Magic Missile spell, the Star Mage who causes the stars to fall, and lastly we have Aldrich who uses his mighty Aether Beam to laser enemies from far away. These 10 wizards will be your gateway to surviving the waves of dark creatures, ready to rip you apart. But let's not forget about the cosmetics for each wizard. Each one of them has at least 3. These can be gained through quests.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Along with the starting spell that each wizard gets, they also learn 3 more. 1 at 5, 1 at 15, and 1 at 25. I've already said almost every spell, but what do they do? Let's start with Astral Orbs. The Astral Orb spell casts spherical projectiles that seek out enemies. The Moonerang spell flings moon-shaped boomerangs that always come back. The Rocky Road spell leaves behind a trail of corrupted minerals that damages anything that gets too close. Solar Pulse emits an aura of solar energy that damages anything within its range. Arcane Broadsword invokes a large magical sword that circles around you. Phantom Blades unleash a spread of daggers forward. Rune Burst launches 4 rune stones at a time, each in a different direction. Magic Missile releases a powerful projectile that pierces through enemies. Falling Stars summon celestial projectiles that rain down from the sky, targeting enemies. Necro Whirls conjure energy auras that damage anything within reach. Scepter Mesh erects golden scepters that will create walls of energy between them. Chthonic Charge places charged energy mines behind you that triggered an explosion when stepped on or over time. Hex Bomb hurls a large explosive orb behind you that damages anything within reach. And lastly, we have the Aether Beam, which casts a beam that links you to the nearest enemy, dealing a consistent amount of damage. And you have a chance to unlock one of 3 random spells at each level up milestone. At each level, you'll get the opportunity to choose an upgrade for them, or upgrade your general stats. And at level 7 of each spell, you will gain the opportunity to infuse your spells with elements, as well as level 14. You could combine 2 elements to make chaos, or just double up. But we should talk about the numbers behind it all. The stats class, that's actually interesting. I never took stats. In Spell Brigade, all the important stuff about your run is stored in variables, or the statistics. These will be used to determine how much damage you do to an enemy, or how many times you can get hit before you have to restart your run. I'm going to simplify these stats so we can move into the gameplay. You can group the stats into health modifiers, damage modifiers, move speed, dodge, experience gain, pickup distance, and luck. When you choose a wizard, you'll get 2 buffs and 1 debuff. Those stats will be tracked here. Every time you level up, you gain a chance to upgrade specific spells modifiers or your general stats. You can track your general skills here as well. Unfortunately, you cannot track your spell modifications, but that's okay, because you will see it change with the damage output on enemies or the cooldown at the bottom of your screen. If you're ever confused about specific stats, you can see a detailed description in the game when leveling up, or whenever you go to the enchantments lobby. Knowledge is power. Once you finish a run, you are granted gold. The gold you gain is exactly 1/10 of the total experience you got during the run. You can use this gold in the enchantments tab in the lobby. You can spend the gold to upgrade your stats before the run. These upgrades are permanent unless you choose to refund them and redistribute your gold. This page has a ton of stats available for upgrade. Every base stat except for dodge has been included, but they've also added revives and revive speed. But you will need to buy enchantments to unlock more enchantments. 5 enchantments will get you the second row, and 15 will get you the third row. You will need a lot of gold to fully max out the enchantments page. The secret passage to Hogsmeade. The quest and Spell Brigade are one of the most important mechanics in the game. It is solely responsible for the progression outside of the main gameplay loop. You will gain wizards, wizard costumes, enchantment unlocks, elemental infusions, augments, attunements, maps, difficulties, and covens. But it is super easy to understand, don't even worry. There are 5 quest tabs, each with their own focus. Look through them and see how to unlock those elusive items. See the silly quests that you need to do in order to get your last costume for your favorite wizard, or just completely ignore them. It is absolutely up to you. I think it's time we jump in. Platform 9 3/4. After you've selected your wizard, you'll get the choice to choose your world. This is where you'll fight off dark creatures. If you've never played before, you'll be limited to Verdant Meadows. Once you beat Verdant Meadows, you'll unlock Frozen Ancients, and if you beat Frozen Ancients, you'll unlock Pyrestorm Pit. If you want to increase the difficulty, you'll have to beat the previous difficulty to get the new difficulty, and that's on a map-by-map basis. You'll also be able to enable covenants by unlocking them. You can get the Harmony Pact to remove friendly fire on yourself and your teammates, or you can get Eternal Bond to loop the waves until you end up dying. More on this later. If you want to play with friends, you can invite them, or if you want to meet some new wizards, you can use the matchmaking tool to find others with your specific choices, or broaden your horizons to play with others. Either way, playing solo or with friends requires you to ready up. Let's see what happens after. The Wizarding World. After you ready up, you'll be dropped in. You'll create a beam that fries any enemies in its path when you land. If you die in solo, you will be respawned with the same thing, so you'll have a fighting chance. With friends, you need to have them revive you, but you will respawn with your beam. Squash those dead bugs and get your first level up. Choose from 3 options of varying rarity. You'll find common, rare, epic, and legendary tiers of upgrades. The higher tier the upgrade is, the higher the buff from each one. If you don't like those options and you've invested in the reroll enchantment, you may reroll those upgrades. The maximum amount of rerolls is 3. After choosing one, you'll be forced to survive. Grab those blue, purple, and pink orbs off of the ground to increase your experience. Use that experience to keep leveling up. Sometimes monsters will drop a potion of healing, and sometimes they'll drop a magnet. Grab the magnet, and it'll pull all the experience that's on the map to you. Assuming that you survive long enough, an objective will spawn. The objective will be one of few, testing your skills to see if you can handle the battlefield. The objectives that can spawn are Seal the Rift, Complete the Sacrifice, Clear the Soul Sludge, Destroy the Statues, Kill the Golden Beetle, Retrieve the Bewitched Fungi, and Secure the Unstable Spell Cores. Any one of these will grant an augment. Augments allow you to modify your spells with special behaviors, such as granting another projectile/beam, aiming at the enemy with the most health, or granting healing upon taking damage from your own spells. Sometimes it will grant a higher level spell upgrade. If you don't like what you see, you can re-roll the spells with your remaining health. You will have to sacrifice a third of your total health to re-roll. Around the map, after the second and fourth objective, you'll find a scroll inside the chest. The scroll is called a relic. Relics grant a general mechanic change or buff outside of spells. The less health you have, the more speed you gain, or that you gain health on level up. Grab it and carry on, fighting new monsters every few levels. Some explode and some are incredibly tanky. Some even dig under your feet to do crazy amounts of damage. So don't stop moving. Eventually, after all 4 objectives are done, you'll have a bit of a grace period before Soulfish, the long one, spawns. He has a metric butt ton of health and will ruin you if you're careless. After taking a fair bit of damage, he will be stunned. Once he is stunned, he takes more damage and cannot attack. Upon defeating him, the mission is over and you will be given a results screen. You can see your gold, total experience, and your final stats. Feel free to look at the quests and see what skins and wizards you unlock during your run and jump right back in. Assuming that you do beat it, you will get the Eternal Bond Covenant, and if you took damage from your own spell, you'll get the Harmony Covenant. You can select these at the bottom of the lobby. Let's talk about looping, shall we? Looping over and over. Upon starting a run with the Eternal Bond Covenant activated, nothing will happen. The only thing that happens is an indicator that appears at the top right. It will state which loop you're on. Nothing interesting happens until you defeat the boss, Soulfish, the Long One. after which you will continue with everything you have and no changes except for spawns. New spawns from this point forward will be starting bugs, and will work their way up again to the toughest bugs you can fight. You won't find any relics, or at least as many. You'll only find one upon starting the loop, but augments will appear after each objective, and the objectives haven't changed. However, Soulfish now grants an augment. Upon dying, it'll be the same. That's pretty much the same for gameplay with friends, but there are a few changes I'd like to go over. Friendship is magic. Spell Brigade is also very fun with friends, from hitting them with a crazy amount of damage to sticking side by side with healing beams, to using your revive as a tactical nuke. Now, there are a few things that do change, like the revive system. I mentioned it earlier, but you need a friend to get back up. However, your revives pool together. This makes it easier to lose a lot of lives, but also allow people more of a chance to play. You will also find that experience is shared with friends. Individual experience bonuses are applied when you pick up experience. Everyone will level up at the same time, and time will freeze, giving players about a minute or so to choose their level up, augment, or scroll. Another big thing is that enemies will become plentiful, which makes you stick together with your teammates. Objectives will also scale with the players, causing more objects to be found or more things to be destroyed. There are also a few new things for level ups and relics. Sometimes you don't want to wait to be revived. You can get an instant revive that brings you back in with no cost to the revive counter. You can also find a relic that allows for faster revive speed, damage bonuses after reviving your teammates, and more fun stuff like that. Now, this game is in early access, and I will do update videos on future updates. I look forwards to the future of this game, and I hope that you'll test it out, as demos are rare and I think it's worth a fair shot.